Well, hello everybody, and I would like to thank you all for watching my videos, very kind of you. In return, I always try to provide some cool information. I started this channel because I wanted to provide the information that wasn't being provided. And you know what? Today is no exception. We are going to say in this video that all stone circles are actually a type of crescent, egg shapes, ellipses, or a type of diamond ring effect crescent or a horseshoe crescent, and they are not circular. There are no circles, no stone circles. Does this sound strange? It should, because we've been taught there are stone circles. I don't see any stone circles anywhere. They're always something else. Take Stonehenge, for instance, a very weird monument. We appear to have two crescents. Supposedly in its original form, Stonehenge looks something like this. But that's a load of garbage, because let's look at Stonehenge in its natural form. This is before its restoration in the 1920s and 30s. Look at this. It's a crescent. It's a clear crescent. Where are the stones here? They don't exist. How about here? Again, it's a horseshoe. It's a horseshoe. We have one horseshoe here, one horseshoe here. It's basically two crescents. Stonehenge is made up of crescents. If we look at Stonehenge, basically today it's been restored a bit more, but even after the so-called restorations and all this, we aren't given what happened to all these stones. Where are they? They don't exist. We just seem to have a crescent and a crescent. I'm sure they found holes here, but this does not exist. Where does this myth of a stone circle come from? It appears, I would suggest, to come from a man called Inigo Jones. Now, Inigo Jones was essentially an architect, the great architect. Not the great architect of the Freemasons, but similar. The most notable antiquity of Great Britain, vulgarly called Stonehenge on Salisbury Plain, restored by Inigo Jones Esquire, Architect General to the late King, and this is from 1635, so you can work out who that king was. But here is Inigo Jones, looking very serious, and he restored Stonehenge in the following manner. It's not that one. No, don't bring that one up. It's this one here. So that's how he thinks Stonehenge was. And what I'll bring up now is a current view. Funny, the one on the right looks old, but this is the current view. That's how Stonehenge, Inigo Jones envisaged it. And he said Tuscan. I guess the word Etruscan wasn't around back in the 1500s, so he called it a Tuscan temple. Pre-Roman, just pre-Roman, because we're talking 500, he reckoned maybe, the 500s BC, very early Republican days, or just a Roman temple in the Etruscan style. However, because the Etruscans made circular mounds and circular tombs. But the thing is, he totally stuffed it up because he was thinking about idealism and architecture and ideal lines and all this sort of thing. And he couldn't envisage an alternate religion which worshipped the crescent. I think even this is wrong. There shouldn't be a circle here. We just see horseshoe after horseshoe after horseshoe inside Stonehenge. We see a horseshoe of blue stones, which is almost obliterated in this picture, a horseshoe of blue stones. There's a horseshoe of, then there was a horseshoe of trithlons, and then a horseshoe of sarzens. It's just crescents. And I put it to you, that crescent there, it's more than just a horseshoe. It's a diamond ring effect crescent, because what we're looking at is essentially an eclipse. That's right, it's an eclipse. And in addition to, so we'd have a crescent which goes about that far, like in a diamond ring effect. Because remember, Stonehenge is for lunar eclipses. That's what was worked out by computer in the 1950s and 60s. And this took the world by storm because the archaeologists were not expecting this. So what we have is crescents. And I was turned on to this idea by this book again, The Avebury Cycle, Michael Dames. What he said was, Avebury is actually not a circle. It is a crescent. And when I heard this, I did a double take, and I thought, what it's a what? But he's right. If you look at it from the air, you used to have two rings in it, sun and moon, so eclipse. And then look, do you see the bank sort of ends there, and it ends there as well on the other side. So it actually goes around that far. That's it. It's a crescent, and again, I think it's honouring the eclipse, the diamond ring effect. Inside, you're bringing together the sun and the moon, which were two circles, which were here, which are almost obliterated. It's really interesting, and of course the snake avenues leading up to them, because it's the snakes mating. If you've watched the previous video, you'll know how they used to think snakes mated, which was like that the male puts his head into the female's mouth. So that's what Avebury is trying to represent. So I'm showing you, I think that there are no stone circles. There are also a type of flattened egg or flattened circle. Why the egg? I'll show you why the egg. Basically, it is just so interesting. What we used to have was in eclipses was we used to have people observing. So this is actually my website. So images of the sky 2015. So I was in the desert. Look, I'm in the old car. But down here, I've seen a few eclipses. So when the moon is in totality, it's actually an oval. It's actually an egg shape. So do you see this picture here? This has not been touched up or anything. This is the moon when it is absolutely total. And you know it's absolutely total because it's eclipsing. It can't get more total than during an eclipse, because it is right behind the Earth, being illuminated in maximum by all the light of the sun, visible overhead to us. So it's actually an egg shape. So I think the stone circles were following this. Stone circles are the colour of the moon, the colour of an egg. It's just extraordinary. It's totally extraordinary. And let's look at more stone circles. Look, this is Göbekli Tepe, a kind of stone temple. It's sort of precursor to Avebury because it's got a sort of flattened thing here. So I call this a stage stone temple, because people would have stood here at the stage facing people grouped around this way, but it's got two pillars in the middle, like the two circles inside Avebury. And this is 9000 BC. Again, stone so-called circles represent the moon. Look at, this is kind of like an enclosed stone circle. Newgrange. Is that a moon or is that the compound bow? I think it's the moon mixed with the Earth Mother, another henge on top. Just brilliant stuff, brilliant stuff. And we saw the same thing in Israel in 2014 when this was discovered on a hill. Basically a huge stone monument on a hill. And that's the same age as Newgrange. So it was the same tribe, came out of Asia. One wing went to Palestine, maybe they founded Egypt. One wing went over to Ireland and built this. And that is just so interesting. Let's look at other stone circles. Let's look at Castlereagh. Now Castlereagh, that's Castlereagh. What do you think, guys? Tell me what you think. Is it a circle? Is it a ellipse? Is it a ring? I think it's a stage type circle, a stone stage. So we have what we have here is a flattened stage on one side, or there, or even there. And this is for the High Council to sit in judgment while there are other people sitting around there, or for a ceremony. So we have stone stages, stone crescents, stone eggs, stone ellipses, and the crescents are of a horseshoe or a diamond ring effect appearance. That's what's going on. Let's look at another one, Long Meg and her daughters. Again, you see it's not a circle, there are no circles. I call it a flattened stone stage. That's what I'm calling this, for an assembly. That's what it is, guys. I mean, what else could you call it? What about Callanish? Callanish has a circle inside it. What do you think about that? It's weird. It's like a Celtic cross, which is way older than Christianity, and it's in Scotland. And actually, if you look at an overhead view, what do you think we're going to see? What do you think we're going to see, people? I'll show you. Look, it is actually it's actually a flattened stone stage. Again, it's for an assembly, and these are all lunar. Those are lunar. They look like, it looks like someone's been unable to make a proper cross. Not at all. It is a proper cross, but it's done in a lunar way. Nature is not perfect, and they knew this. What do you think about the Rollright stones, guys? Do you think the Rollright stones are a circle? The Rollright stones are certainly not a circle at all. They're definitely not a circle. I'll bring up the plan in a second. Here's the plan. If you look at the plan, you will see a circle's been plotted, but the stones down the bottom are ellipsoid. They pop out of the circle. It's not a circle. And this is done on purpose. They could have done a circle if they wanted. They had a rope to measure it. They didn't. They made it like an egg, like a cosmic egg. It's just incredible, just incredible. So I've shown you all these things. So in summary, guys, there are stone stages, stone crescents. The crescents are horseshoe or ellipsoid. And there are stone ellipses like this, which I think model the egg. If you have a flattened stage also on some stone circles, such as Long Meg, that also kind of resembles an egg as well. So, guys, no one worships the circle. You worship the egg, you worship the crescent. That is why the crescent religion, you see it all over Asia. Even the Soviet flag had a crescent. This is the flag of the Sultanate of Aceh. They were separate in the past. They're trying to be separate again, causing all sorts of strife. But you see, this is the religion. And do you see what's happening? The star and the moon coming together. Do you see what's happening? Cosmic resurrection. This is the resurrection religion. Ironically, a pagan religion in all the flags of all these countries, which apparently don't like paganism very much. There you go. Guys, hope you've enjoyed these insights.